So, remember in chapter 8 when we were talking about momentum.
So we have Dan Salvo over here, aka Ladies Man. We'd like to ask you a question. How has Dr. Porter impacted your life?
I can't isolate one moment where Dr. Porter has truly impacted me, because he impacts it every single time he says hi to me. Like, he's the most genuine guy. He always comes up, says, "How you doing?" Wants to shake my hand, not just like the the knuckle touch. It's a very personal handshake, and he's always interested in what I'm doing. He's always like, "How was your day? How have you been? I can't wait to have you in class because I have him next semester." And he's just someone that's like a day-to-day impactful person. He impacts everybody, and he's just a very genuine, nice, and kind-hearted individual. And I just think that's how he impacts me.
So here we have Bobby Brizzle. So, Bobby Brizzle, how has Dr. Porter affected your life?
Well, throughout my life, I've needed influential people like Dr. Porter, and it happens. He is in my life. I see him every once in a while in school. We always talk, and we value each other's opinions. We have a lot to say when we talk to each other, and he truly gives valuable life lessons throughout his monologues he gives me. Although he hasn't given me that many, I'm sure he's given me a few that have helped change my life. He's a really nice guy. He's a Laker fan. I love that about him. And I love Mrs. Porter. She's like a mother to me. So he's kind of like not like a father to me, because I've never really had him in any classes, but he's like a stepfather that I really enjoy. He's like a nice stepfather. So I love you, Dr. Porter.
So here we have Mr. Magical Hands Mansour. So we'd like to ask you a question. How has DP impacted your life?
Well, it's pretty cool because I've never had Dr. Porter as an actual religion teacher. But I had his wife, Mrs. Porter, and every time I see him, he smiles at me, he shakes my hand, he helped me stash flowers in his classroom before homecoming. He's just a great figure on campus and very inspirational as a young man, thinking about the kind of person we're growing up to be. And I think he's just a real role model that we should all look up to.
Thank you. Gabe Kratzer, how has Dr. Porter affected your life?
How has Dr. Porter affected my life? Well, Dr. Porter is easily my favorite teacher at Chaminade. It's cool. My favorite teacher at Chaminade, my favorite person to talk to. He's one of probably the greatest men I've ever met as a whole, and he really exemplifies what a role model should be. I find myself looking up to Dr. Porter a lot. He's really changed my viewpoint on what I think religion is, and my viewpoint on God. And he's really he's an inspiration to everybody here at Chaminade. Because that's it. That's fine.
Thank you, Gabe.
Go.
So we have here Charlie Griffin, and we're going to ask him a few questions about our man, Dr. Porter. So how has Dr. Porter affected you in your life?
Well, I never had Dr. Porter as a teacher, but my sister did, and she always talks about how great of a teacher he was and how cool he is. So.
How has Dr. Porter affected you?
He's actually infected. He's affected me actually in a very deep and positive way. There he is. Yeah.
Here he comes. We got the man.
So here we have Ben kicking Kreitenberg here. So tell us how Dr. Porter has impacted your life.
Well, I've had Dr. Porter for 2 semesters. I had him last year in religion and this year for psychology. He's really probably one of the best men I've ever met. He's really changed my life in an inspirational way, and morals, teaching me lessons through all of his classes. Yeah.
Okay, how has Dr. Porter affected you?
Positively.
Yes.
I don't know. He's my dad. He raised me, so the way I am today is in large part because of how he parented me, which is good because I think I'm a pretty good guy. So yeah.
Perfect. Mr. Burns, how has Dr. Porter affected you as a very close friend of his?
Dr. Porter is actually one of the wisest individuals I've ever met. He's very empathetic. He's very caring. He checks on you every day, make sure you're okay and you're spiritually up. Every day in class or every day at school, every day period, I'm up and down like everybody else, and he seems to see the look in my face and maybe how I'm doing, but he's always asking, and he always is able to say the right thing to lift me up. And he does that every day. And, I love the man unconditionally. He's fantastic. I think.
Self.